My name is Daniel Bisson. I'm the game director of Tomb Raider, and you're watching Eurogamer.
Hey all, Ian from Eurogamer here, and I've just got back from a hands-on session with Tomb Raider's recently announced multiplayer mode, where I got to play a few rounds of the game and chat to Daniel Bisson, the multiplayer gameplay director. Now, both Bioshock 2 and Dead Space 2 are prime examples of great single-player games having rather superficial and pretty disappointing multiplayer modes tacked on in an apparent box-ticking tactic to drum up extra sales. So it wasn't really that much of a surprise that most fans of Tomb Raider were a bit confused as to the point of its inclusion, with many agreeing that the multiplayer wasn't necessary or indeed particularly wanted, as it didn't fit in with the overall solitary puzzle-solving style of the gameplay. But it wasn't just the Tomb Raider hardcore who were worried about the potential damage the shoehorning of an unnecessary multiplayer mode into the game could do. I managed to capture Lara Croft's reaction when Daniel first told her about the inclusion of multiplayer.
Oh no, 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 no! Oh, don't do this to me, you northern bastard.
Actually, Lara, I think he's French-Canadian or something. Yeah. Anyway, to put Lara's mind at rest, I asked Daniel to explain exactly what makes Tomb Raider's multiplayer so special.
The multiplayer on Tomb Raider, two faction, two clan. One is the evil guys, which is the scavengers. The scavengers are the inhabitants of the island. They are basically being there for a long time. And you have the survivors that shipwreck with Lara's ship, the Endurance, and the survivors try to leave the island while the scavengers are griefing, trying to prevent the survivors from getting out. So basically you have two clans, they have two different ways of playing them. But when you're playing the scavengers, basically you're more like hit and run type of characters, so you have lighter type of weapons, but you move much more, you're more nimble. You have one of the tools is called the Ascender. You can climb very fast zip lines, and one of the things that is very interesting on the multiplayer is that we're using the pillars of the single player, which was exploration, which is a verticality. We're using that in multiplayer. The exploration is super important, meaning that the more you explore, the more you get salvaged, the more you can find unique things, traps, game changers, meaning that you can activate some element moment in the game and create sandstorms, and all these elements are not just like happening with an event. It's actually triggered by the player. So when you activate the sandstorm, all your team will still be able to see the enemies name tag and see them silhouette in red from far away, while the enemies will be blinded by the sandstorm. They won't see you from far away. They have to get super close to you to be able to see you. These are the elements that you can use. They last for a couple of seconds, giving an advantage to your team. Also the traps. Yeah, there's some elemental traps around the maps, snare traps, also spike traps that you can see in the map that you were playing. You can actually, one of the team can actually activate that, and then when the enemies step on it, it just activated. And one of the things that was important for us for using this is because we wanted the environment to become a tool for the player and also a way to protect himself. So it was very important for us, that element of exploration. They go into the map, explore, find all these, basically there's some unique weapons in the map. They go there, find some unique weapons, find all the traps, trigger them, activate the game changer, and have a blast of doing that.
Nice. Now, can you talk us through all of Tomb Raider's multiplayer modes?
I cannot talk about all the other modes, but I can talk about the two modes that are available today. One of them is the rescue mode, and the other one is Team Deathmatch. Team Deathmatch is the run-of-the-mill normal mode, because for us it was like an entry mode. People will learn how the mechanics works and system works by doing that. So that was like, we know it's the most popular mode also, so we wanted to have that mode so people can actually jump in and very easily understand what they need to do. But the mode that I think is most interesting right now is the rescue mode. And the rescue mode basically is pitting two teams with different goals. Like for example, one of the survivors, for example, they have to take, the med pack. There's a med pack. They have to take it and bring it to a special location, while the scavengers, grief them. They try to stop them. And to win, for example, you have to bring 5 med packs to the location, while the scavengers have to kill and get you down and execute you. like about 20 times to be able to win. So when I say about execution, is like there's a special ability. I talk about a special ability about the scavengers that they can use a sender to climb very fast. Survivors has one specific ability also. It's a revive ability. So if your friends go down, you can revive them quickly. And for a scavenger to really have a kill, you have to get to the scavenger. You have to get to the survivor really fast and finish him with a pickaxe to get a point.
The gameplay seemed very fast-paced and hectic compared to a lot of the single-player footage released that sees Lara attacking her enemies stealthily. Will stealth gameplay also be catered for in multiplayer, or is it mainly aimed at balls-to-the-wall action?
The multiplayer is for sure one of the main goal for us was to have something more fast-paced. But there's the bow, and the bow. There's a lot of people are finding the bow as their favorite weapon because nobody hears them using it. And they can use it like if you're hiding and you use it, nobody knows where it come from. You can do easier headshots. You can attack easier with that without being heard. So there's an element of stealth in there, but it's not as much as the single player, for example, because Lara, she's basically more vulnerable. She's more afraid of of the conflict. While multiplayer people just I don't care. I'm gonna shoot you in the face anyway. So this is something that. We want to convey. We want to keep that element because one of the vision we want is freedom. So the player can actually take the strategy and tactic he wants. So he can use, like I was saying, traps and stuff. So the bow was one of the weapons that create a unique experience, and even in the multiplayer.
I only got to play on one map named Chasm during the hands-on, and it looked like it was created specifically for the multiplayer. Will all maps be original arenas, or will some locations be recycled from the single-player game?
The actual map are specific to multiplayer. This is something that was important for the team. The reason why is because in single player they're built for where the enemy is going to spawn. They built for AI navigation, and they built for the player to be able to confront that conflict. While in multiplayer, there's some choke point. There's flow. There's a lot of things like that, and there's a two-team, asymmetrical team. There's one team, as I was saying, it goes fast up and go fast down, while the other team will stay down. So it was very important to create very specific and unique map. They're reusing the single-player assets, so it's the same artistic direction. It's the same theme. It's basically the same universe. It's just differently layout.
I was awarded XP upon completion of each match. How do the XP rewards and perks work in Tomb Raider?
There's two currency. There's the experience, and there's also the salvage, which is the same thing as the single player, because we wanted to have we have to have the bridge between the single player. It feels like we're in the universe of Lara of Tomb Raider. So one thing is that the salvage permits you, when you get it, you can find it in the maps. You can actually explore and search for them. You can get a salvage to upgrade your weapons, so you can be bigger. I don't know if you like the bow, you can upgrade your bow and make it more damaging, more things about that. And the skills, the experience point, basically gives you to buy some skills that permits you to see enemies farther, to be more resistant to bullets and things like that. That are more about adaptation. Because Lara is about survival. So Lara, how she adapts and how she survives. That echoes also in the multiplayer, meaning that a survivor or a scavenger basically becomes hardened the more you play. So it's just basically a representation of what we wanted to do with survival.
Looking through the multiplayer characters, I noticed not only that we can play as characters from the single-player game, but also that dedicated players can unlock Lara herself as a character when they reach the highest ranks. What was the reasoning behind including Lara in the multiplayer?
We had a long debate about should we use her in the multiplayer or not. There was a lot of heated debate about that, and we decided to put it in the game. But what we didn't want to do is take out the unique and special aura about Lara. It was very important for us, so we made her like the hardest character to get. You have to unlock her, so you have to be like the maximum level, like 60 level, and you have to pay a lot of XP to be able to buy Lara. So basically, what we wanted to do is that if you get into the game and you see Lara coming in, you're like, oh my God, this person there is dangerous. Let's get her. Let's get her. So that was one of the, and I think we for playtest, we did some playtest, and that was the reaction that people had, like, oh, you got Lara, let's get her, and people were focusing on it. It was kind of cool.
Cheers, Daniel, and finally, you've probably had more hands-on with the multiplayer than anyone else in the world. So, what's your favourite loadout? How do you play to win in Tomb Raider?
I worked on Rainbow Six. I was a Rainbow Six big fan. I'm an assault type of guy. I like up and close, and I like to hit and then go around and hit and strafing and stuff like that. A lot of people in my team prefer doing the bow or the shotgun, but I'm an assault rifle type of guy.
I'm a big fan of multiplayer gaming, so I'm going to be pretty honest here. While the gameplay did seem solid, like a fast-paced version of Uncharted, with the rescue mode being a novel twist on the standard third-person perspective multiplayer, I did walk away from the game with a distinctly ho-hum feeling about it. Sure, the multiplayer won't break any records. In fact, I'm going to confidently predict empty lobbies not long after launch, but in no way does it ruin the single-player aspect of the game. It doesn't ruin the story, and if it gives you a few extra hours of entertainment for your cash, I think the inclusion of the multiplayer mode isn't that big of a problem. If you want to read a more detailed preview of Tomb Raider's multiplayer mode, click on the annotation at the top of the screen to be taken to Martin Robinson's Eurogamer article. But before you do that, make sure you click on the bottom annotation to subscribe to Eurogamer on YouTube, because we've got loads more Tomb Raider coverage on the way, including a live stream of the single player campaign closer to the launch, and loads more features on all of 2013's biggest and bestest games. See you next time.